Change of any kind can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be paralyzing. In fact, each and every individual has the means to alter the way that you see change. All you have to do is adopt what we call the Promethean mindset. For context, in Greek mythology, Prometheus stole fire from the gods of Olympus and brought it back for common use by humans on Earth. This story has seemingly created a branch of entrepreneurial philosophy that endears those who are rebelliously innovative, a philosophy that has just recently impacted the way that I view innovation. This week, I read through a collection of 20 essays titled Breaking Smart. Breaking Smart simply means to adapt intelligently to new technological possibilities. These 20 essays all revolved around the topic of software eating the world. This software eating the world idea as a recent societal transformation sounds kind of ominous, when in reality it presents a hopeful, optimistic projection of the future. Although this series of essays could really be broken down into individual, detailed series that breaks down each of the core concepts, there are two from this past week that I'd like to focus on in this video, the first of which being the idea of perpetual beta. Perpetual beta represents exactly what its name claims, an ongoing experimentation across assorted areas of improvement even after the product, or in this specific case software, has been released for public consumption. Listed in the essay is a prime example of perpetual beta playing out in the real world by way of Gmail. Gmail operated for 5 years under beta status, finally relinquishing that status in 2009 with already nearly 30 million users. This practice is very commonplace in the tech industry today, but I believe the idea of perpetual beta has universal applications that go beyond the tech industry. Let's think about perpetual beta in a variety of real-world contexts. Whether someone is learning the guitar, starting a new relationship with someone, or starting any projects of a personal or professional nature, isn't there more to be gained from approaching a task with an open-ended solution rather than tunneling in on an idea from the beginning that was probably inspired by inexperience? I know it sounds a little harsh, but it's not very often that people are able to correctly predict how something is going to unfold, even in the short term. Personally, I'm not discouraged by this. I'm encouraged by this newfound understanding that I can jump into an idea, a new task, or a new hobby without knowing exactly what the finished picture looks like. All I know is that now I have a goal that I'm motivated to achieve. Once comfortable with the idea of adopting the concept of perpetual beta across various aspects of both personal and professional innovation, it's important to understand just how to approach problem solving. The current societal norm is to take an approach to problem solving that is end result driven, which is actually a direct contradiction of the Promethean style of innovation I mentioned before. This is a pretty recognizable process, and it looks like finding or addressing a big problem, getting some resources from another source with restrictions or limits or rules, and then completing that project or finding a solution to the problem while adhering to those limitations. While this may seem intuitive because it's commonplace, it actually is, like I mentioned, quite limiting, and it's not rebellious or ingenious or even all that innovative. Instead, what we should do is turn away from that towards a more tinkering, network-driven style of problem solving that has 3 improved steps. When it comes to problem solving by way of tinkering, an important first step is to immerse yourself fully in relevant streams of ideas, people, and different capabilities. The second step is an experimentation phase where you try to uncover new possibilities by a long stream of trial and error. Usually the more trials, the more accurate the results will be. The last step is to leverage what you have. Double down on what has worked well. It makes sense to take your best idea and try to get the most from it. Now this process is also intuitive, it's just not as often articulated. When you lay it out, what you want to do is figure out what's popular, workshop whatever idea or person or stream that you came up with, and then as soon as you hit a winner and perfect it, take it and run. You should get success from your best idea. This network-driven line of thinking again brings us back to what we just discovered about successful progressive change and progress. It doesn't begin with utopian goals or resources captured through specific promises or threats. It actually begins with open-ended, pragmatic tinkering that thrives on the unexpected. John F. Kennedy said that change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or to the present are certain to miss the future. I encourage you all to dive further into what it means to break smart. If you are eager and excited about personal progress and change like I am, all it takes to begin is the willingness to admit, I don't know what great thing is going to come next, but I need to be a part of it.